Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly astrology and pick a card or pick a pile reading for your week ahead. This is for July 8th through to 14th. Before I get started, I'll just say if you would like a personal reading with me, please go to the link below to my online store. Turnaround time at the moment is about at least 7 to 16 business days at the moment. It is school holidays, and being a mum, I'm also very busy, so it can take me just a little bit longer to get to the readings just at this time, okay, for the next couple of weeks. So let's talk about the astrology for the week. So this week is going to be very, very intense, okay? So intense, kind of, you know, more of a heavier sort of energy, all right? So the main thing that is, there's a lot with Saturn and the South Node, and anyway, I'll get into it, but the Sun in Cancer is going to oppose with Saturn from Monday to Wednesday this week. This is a very sort of heavy energy. Saturn and Cancer, you know, together, those energies together don't work very well. The Sun is, you know, representative of light and truth and love as well, and like positivity, positive energy, forward movement. And then we have Saturn pulling on that. So Saturn, you know, can sometimes represent issues related to restrictive energy, energy that wants to sort of hold things back or slows things down as well. So with Saturn opposing with the Sun, it can feel like, you know, things are a bit slow at this time. Things are a bit heavy at this time and a bit serious, or a bit, there's some more sort of fear energy around you more than usual. You may need to hold back from making very serious decisions in your life this week. Though some things may happen that are destined because there's some other influences going on. So from Monday to Wednesday, this energy really peaks with the Sun opposite Saturn. And just what I want to say to most people listening, or to everybody listening really, is that just try not to sink into too much fear energy, because with Saturn opposite the Sun, the fear could be quite strong. So when I say the fear, it could be collective fears, collective kind of heavier energies are prevailing a little bit at this time. So you do need to sort of work extra hard on maintaining your own light and protection, and issues related to self-protection when it comes to psychic energy being infiltrated by other people's energy or negative energies is very important this week, especially because Wednesday to Thursday we also have Sun trine Neptune. Now the trine is usually positive, but with Sun trine Neptune, you know, we could slip into some addictive energies or some escapist energies that make us feel better about, you know, the heaviness of life, because Saturn opposite Sun from Monday to Wednesday can represent some heavier aspect of life. And on Wednesday to Thursday we have Sun trine Neptune, which can make us feel like we just need a reprieve from the tension or the difficulty or the darker energies or the fearful energies. The better way to use the Sun trine Neptune would be to channel that energy that you have into creativity, to channel your energy into spiritual things like prayer, meditation, compassion for yourself and others, and tuning into a universal love energy and connecting to the collective love vibration, because of this sort of to me, it looks like a bit of a tug of war between the light and dark energies this week, which is no light thing. And I feel like, you know, you may be feeling on a very personal level where you're suffering with fears or insecurities, worries, or feeling, you know, a feeling of heaviness in some way. Some people it could manifest through dreams, or, you know, like having nightmares, or feeling just lower vibration, lower vitality, things like that as well. Monday, just back to Monday for a second, Venus also squares Chiron. So from Monday to Wednesday, Sun opposite Saturn, and also Venus square Chiron. Now, Venus in Cancer square Chiron in Aries, this is a difficult energy between the feminine and masculine counterparts, the feminine and masculine energies. So this could cause a feeling of insecurity in your relationship, a feeling of insecurity when it comes to your inner feminine energy or your inner masculine energy. It could cause some, or not cause, but it could bring up some energy of fear in relationships, or fear of loss, or fear of like an insecure energy. You know, Venus in Cancer wants security and stability and to feel safe, and square with Chiron in Aries could feel like there's an energy of feeling threatened in that element of safety. So some healing issues could come up early in the week in regards to relationships and where you stand in relationships in general. The other stuff is Monday. Also, you have transiting Mercury going retrograde. So Mercury retrograde in Leo, and then it will eventually go back to Cancer. But that from around the the 20th of July goes back to Cancer, I believe, all the way through to the 1st of August. But yeah, the Mercury retrograde period in Leo, and just pay attention to things to do with communications with others, especially people, maybe communications could be with bosses or people that have some element of authority in your life, or issues related to career, communications in your career, self-expression, creativity. With Mercury retrograde, I always want to double check important information. As I always say, there can be problems for some people with vehicles, computers, phones, things like that playing up. That's quite common with Mercury retrograde, but miscommunications and misunderstandings can happen as well with the Mercury retrograde period. So there's that as well. Wednesday, the Sun conjuncts the North Node, so there's a very strong destined energy coming in that's sort of pushing us forward in some way. Now, it's interesting because that's on Wednesday, and then at the same time we have Sun opposite Saturn, so there's a feeling of wanting to push forward, but then Sun opposite Saturn is kind of cautioning us to take things slowly, even though we want to push forward. And Thursday to Saturday, Mars in Leo squares with Uranus in Taurus. This is a difficult energy. It can bring up unexpected developments. And also I have to say there is transiting Saturn is conjunct the South Node, which brings a very heavy energy all week this week. So this is not the best week in general for travel, though you would check your personal chart, though, you know, if the Mars square Uranus contacts anything for you personally, so with Mars and Uranus around 5 to 6 degrees of a fixed sign, if you have anything that's been contacted by that Mars square Uranus in your chart, I would be very careful with driving, travel, or, you know, being reckless or unthinking in any way, because this energy can be very disruptive and can be a bit accident prone. But again, that's not going to affect everybody. It's a general energy in the air. You would have to check your chart to see if you have anything around 6 degrees of Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, or Aquarius to see if it's affecting you. But it is a very intense week. There's a lot of energy, you know, sort of rumbling around in the cosmos, in the universe, and I just feel like it's not a week to push forward very heavily. It is a week to do what feels natural to you, of course. Always check in with your own intuition first. But it is a week to kind of have a bit of a slowdown with the Sun opposite Saturn. Be cautious with your self-expression, with your physical body, and with, you know, not being forceful in any way. Some people may experience some endings with transiting Saturn conjunct the South Node all this week. If you have anything around 16, 17, 18 degrees of Capricorn, this could be a feeling of ending for you in some aspect of your life. So like if it's your moon sign, it could be like if you have moon, especially in Capricorn, with the South Node transiting and Saturn transiting, this could be an emotional ending. If you have Libra moon, this could be some test for you in, you know, regards to dealing with authorities, people in authority in your life. If you have Aries moon, you could be feeling challenged with regards to bosses, or again, people in authority challenging your independence. So yeah, it's kind of an energy of having to surrender to letting go a little bit this week. If you have anything cardinal around 17, 18-ish, 16, 17, 18 degrees of cardinal signs. Okay, so now let's get to the card portion of the reading. So we have 1, 2, 3, or 4. So take your pick from 1, 2, 3, or 4. I would say, you know, try to pick one pile, but sometimes you might want to pick 2, depends how you're feeling. And I'm just going to hold it there for a second so you can see what you're drawn to. And I'm just going to do the reading now. So let's start with number 1. So I've got 3 cards for each pile. So, all right, we've got the 4 of Pentacles. Wow, power card and creativity. All right. So if you chose 1, this 4 of Pentacles is very interesting. It's talking about holding on to something. Power. Wow. So this is about your personal power and it's interesting because the solar plexus, you know, the yellow with the creativity is about the solar plexus, which is the seat of your personal power. So there's definitely a very strong influence here, if you pick number 1, of making sure you maintain your personal power, your dignity, your authenticity, who you are. Being strong in yourself. You know, the Leo lion energy is here, which also resonates with the yellow. So there's a strong Leo energy coming in here. You may have Leo sun, moon, or rising, or you may know someone that's a Leo. if you've chose number 1, this is talking to you about holding on to your personal power in an authentic way to protect yourself against possibly heavy energies this week, negative forces. It's asking you to channel your very strong energy this week, or passionate energy, into creative pursuits, rather than, you know, letting your power get taken away from you by anyone else, or, you know, you yourself being destructive with your own power, or being restless and not channeling it the right way. So this is about keeping it together and keeping your energy very solid and strong. And, you know, I am hearing the word protection here. We have the word power and creativity, but I'm hearing protection also. So there is something about protecting yourself by being self-contained. And it may be about not sharing information that you have, not sort of spilling information about something that's sensitive to you. It may be maintaining your authenticity, your power in your own life by keeping your thoughts and feelings more to yourself this week. That's what I'm getting for that. Okay, so if you chose number 2, the 2 of Cups, that came up last week for someone. Sacrifice, interesting. Pride. Wow, okay. So somebody in a soulmate connection has a lot of pride, and it's preventing them from being truly honest in a relationship. This may be you, or maybe someone that you know. The Sacrifice card here is interesting. It talks about, for a soul connection to flourish, it could be now or in the future, there is something that you need to sacrifice that is getting in the way of, you know, potential relationships from blossoming in the future, I feel. So I am getting a futuristic vibe with this, I have to say. The Sacrifice card is really showing me something here about making sure that you are aware that there are things that you need to change in some way in order to get to this positive energy here. And it relates with the Pride card. So perhaps you are not being authentic in some way, you're not being honest in some way in your life, because I'm getting like this is the overall picture, and this is a very important connection here. So it's like, if you're looking for a relationship in the future, it's saying there is one there, but there are things that you need to work on, and there are things to do with your ego that are getting in the way, that are sort of blocking the manifestation of this. But it is there to happen, but it's like you need to do some work first, okay? And for other people, I feel like this is improvement in an existing relationship that needs to happen, and it's about looking at what aspects of your personality you need to work on, so that you can improve situations in your relationship, is what I'm getting, okay? Or within an important relationship, okay? So number 3, 10 of Pentacles, nice. Oh, manifestation, that goes good with that. I want to put that there. And the Obstacles and Challenges card. So with these 3, it shows that you are trying to get to this feeling of stability, this 10 of Pentacles, which is a beautiful card. And maybe this is on your mind this week, that you want more stability, more abundance in your life, more of a sense of connection with family, or with a sense of belonging, and this sense of material abundance. Now, you are in the process of manifesting this in your life, but there are obstacles that you're dealing with right now that are quite heavy. I mean, look at this man's feet. He's stepping on this really, it's quite treacherous where he is here. He's very high up. There's a concrete sort of thing that he has to cross here, but there's, you know, an abyss below with, you can see some water there. It looks really scary and very intense. And inside of all these orbs is like this person's mind. You can see a person's head, and it's like all of his fears are influencing his ability to step forward with confidence. So there's something here about fears really triggering you this week, to which may be blocking you from getting to this, you know, this newfound stability, this newfound confidence in your life. But the manifestation card says that you can actually create this. Like, it's not impossible. It's just that you do need to face some fears, almost like a test that you need to get through to get to this feeling of more stability and security and abundance in your life. Okay, so some tests that you're getting through at this time, which will hopefully ultimately lead to getting more abundance and feeling more stable. Okay, we have the 6 of Wands, which is nice. the individuality card and the wisdom card. Okay, so with these three, I like the Six of Wands. It's a beautiful card of success, but it is a card of saying, you know, yes, you have achieved something, or you will achieve something this week, though it's kind of like, and then you kind of have to go to the next phase. So it's like you've completed something, and it's to do with wisdom too. So you've gained some knowledge and some wisdom about some very important things going on for your life, and it's helping you get to another level. Now, there's something here about individuality and self-mastery here, which also comes up. So it's also about, it's a red chakra, so it's to do with survival, finances, stability in your material world. So it's saying that coupling your spiritual wisdom with your need for stability and success on your path, you can work these two energies together at this time to get the best out of your situation. So rather than just being purely focused on material concerns, which can, you know, if we get too focused on the material world, it can lead people down a bit of a dark path, especially this week, because Saturn with the South Node, very heavy energy. And, you know, if you get lost in material energy this week, it's not going to be a good thing. If you get lost in the material world without seeing the spiritual, the wisdom, you know, the bigger picture, this may feel like a success, but it may be something that affects you in a negative sense in some way. So it's, what I'm getting here is a balance between your spiritual awareness, the bigger picture of life, and balancing your material world and your success and your career this week. But there is something here about working on your individual path and success to do with your individual path in a material sense. So if you've been wanting to change something in your life, this is showing that there is energy with forward movement this week, but you need to bring this wisdom with you of what you've learned along the way, the more difficult lessons, you know, because it's almost like if you get carried away with just achievement or just material side of life and stability in a financial or security sense alone, it's going to be incomplete. It's going to be, you know, not satisfying, not fulfilling for you. You need to bring along with you what you've learned in a spiritual sense to help you have more sort of gratitude and fulfillment is what I'm getting. All right, so those are the messages, guys. So have a fantastic week. As I said, if you'd like to book a reading with me, just follow the links below to my online store. Thank you so much. Have a great week, everyone. Take care. Bye.